Hello, Namaste, Salam Alaikum, Sat Sri Akal. Welcome back to another session with your Vahchef at whatever.com. Today we're going to make Keema Khameeri Roti. This Khameeri means yeast. This is nothing but fermented dough roti. So for this, first we're going to make the starter what we're going to use as a fermentation. Nowadays everybody is using yeast, but they used to make this method for many generations. So in this, take some buttermilk and add pinch of salt, some sugar, and add flour in this. Okay, I think I can add more of buttermilk. Now, just make this into a thin batter. For jalebi also we do khameer the same way. Just make this into a batter and then pour this into a bowl, and we're going to leave this overnight. Look at this batter, because the buttermilk is there, the flour is there, and more fermentation is happening with the flour, and by the next day when it is fermented, it looks like this. Can you see lot of air bubbles in this? This is what is used to make our Khameeri roti. That is a nice fermented roti. But nowadays, if you want, you can also skip this method and add yeast to it, and you can still make a similar kind of roti, but the yeast will have a different flavor and aroma, whereas this Khameeri roti made with buttermilk and the flour batter makes it taste even more better. Now take this khameer, that is the fermented dough. In this, we're going to add milk. We add the liquid to the flour, but today I'm just going to do it by adding this way. It's okay. And now just make this into a nice soft dough, just the way you make your bread dough. I'm not adding salt at this point of time because I already added some in the fermented batter. But if you want, you can also sprinkle a little bit of salt on this. Knead this dough till this is nice and soft. You may have to knead this like 4 or 5 minutes the way you knead the bread dough, because you want the gluten to form in this dough. After kneading the dough, we're going to rest it for around 5 minutes. After that, we're going to add some ghee and again knead the dough. And this time, we are going to rest this dough for 2 hours, because this is not yeast, this is a khameer, this takes a little more time than yeast. Just cover this dough with a wet cloth and put it in a warm place for 2 hours. They used to make khameer, that is a fermentation dough, by mixing yogurt with the all-purpose flour. But nowadays, a lot of people are using yeast, but this is another method of baking. Okay, now the dough is all ready, we have rested enough time. For this keema masala Khameeri roti, we're going to take mince meat, that is keema. In this, we're going to add chopped onion, small onion, chopped garlic, and chopped mint and coriander. Both of them mix. In this, add salt, add chili powder, add garam masala powder, and also some chopped tomatoes. Now we're going to add 1 egg also in this, and we're going to mix all of this, and we're going to use this as a topping for our Keema Khameeri roti. Now this mincemeat masala is all ready. Now once you have the bread ready, we're going to spread this on the top. I'm going to show you how to cook this. Look at this dough. This looks perfect, but the dough is nice and soft. So we're just going to take one portion of this dough, and do not beat this dough or anything, because there is aeration in this, and we're just going to spread this. Okay. To make this Khameeri roti, just sprinkle some flour on a plate or anything, and then put the dough and just spread the dough on this, because this is a nicely fermented dough and this is a dough without yeast. Just be a little bit careful. Just okay, this is perfect. Now take a mincemeat and spread on top of this. Wow, this with onion, garlic, tomatoes. Wow, the mincemeat with all the Indian, with the nice spices. This is good. On this, just pour in some oil. Okay, if you want to use olive oil, you can use olive oil. Just to make sure that on the edges you pour. Okay, just transfer it onto tawa. Okay, and we're going to cook it on a slow flame for around 2 minutes on this, and transfer it onto the baking tray. Now, once you cook this, just transfer it onto a baking tray, and we're going to put this in the oven and cook it at 250 degrees centigrade or the highest setting possible, in a broiler mode. That means the heat will be coming from the top, and cook this for around 5 to 7 minutes. Look at this. After baking them for exactly 7 minutes, they are perfectly cooked. Even from the bottom, you can check, they are so nicely cooked. Dear friends, the aroma, this is superb. You can see all this garlic, onion, tomato with this keema. I'm telling you, the soft bread with this, wow. This is quite big to be eaten in one shot. So, just going to cut them. Wow. With this, look at this. This, wow. And because this is a khameer, that means a fermented dough, this smells even better than any pizza dough. Wow. Dear friends, very easy to make. It's very easy to make, and the festival, the Eid is coming, and I'm sure many of you will try this. Wow. More than the keema, the dough is fantastic. The edges of the dough are nice, crispy, and fantastic. Dear friends, I hope you enjoyed today's session of learning how to make this Keema Khameeri Roti. But do not forget, Vareva is all about inspiring others to cook. So please post your recipes and cooking tips at vareva.com so others can benefit from your great cooking. Thank you. These are fantastic, especially for the Eid. You make this, I'm telling you, super, super, super and super.